So in this video, I wanted to break down and explain how I went from this physique, which is pretty average. Obviously, I had some training experience. I just traveled Europe for 4 months, so I'd lost a lot of the results. I'd lost a lot of the muscle. And so I was looking pretty average, you know, higher body fat percentage, you know, around 14%, not much muscle. I'd lost a lot of strength. How I went from that to then getting super jacked, super strong, and then ultimately cutting down to win a bodybuilding show. My first ever and my only ever bodybuilding show. I just wanted to do it to prove to myself that with Pectus Excavatum, I can look amazing, I can win a bodybuilding show, and I did so. And so I wanted to break down how I did that. Now, you guys are probably familiar with me. If you're not, then make sure to subscribe. But if you are, you would know that I'm PectusPT, the world's only Pectus Excavatum specialized personal trainer. And so you've probably seen my transformation from when I was a kid with, you know, very prominent pectus, very prominent rib flare. It used to kill me, it used to make me extremely insecure, to then my after photos and that massive difference. But you probably haven't seen this 6-month transformation from where I was PectusPT at that time. I kind of let myself go. I started traveling, I stopped training as much, I started eating bad food, and I just, you know, had a period of travel. Most of us have periods where we're not that dedicated to the gym. Let myself go, and then how I was able to rebuild myself into my best physique ever. And hopefully this can provide some motivation for you guys, because it's a really short time period, and a lot of you are probably at where I was at this starting point in this video. So firstly, how I did it. Step 1, I dedicated myself to training. I came back home, stopped traveling, and dedicated myself from the start, this whole process, to tracking my macros, hitting them consistently, making sure I went to sleep on time, making sure I got 8 hours of sleep, and making sure I trained. I was training 6 days a week, normally on like a push-pull leg split, specifically for pectus, with pectus key exercises, okay, like the landmine press, the plate pinch press, and all these different things to target the inner chest, but as well as with a good chest to back ratio and a stretching routine to make your pectus look less noticeable. But anyway, so I dedicated myself. That's what I'm saying first. That's what you need to do. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to be consistent. Secondly, I focused on gaining muscle first. Guys, most of you guys are skinny fat. You have a little bit of higher body fat at the same time, you know, not much muscle. So normally we need to make a decision as to whether we're gaining or cutting first. This is going to depend on where you're at and your short-term, long-term goals. But I knew for me to win a bodybuilding show, for me to look my best, I needed more muscle, because I was about 80 kilos, 82 kilos with kind of like 15% body fat at the start of this, 14%. And I knew I needed to build a lot more. So I focused on gaining, okay? I didn't really care that my pectus didn't look as amazing while I was bulking, because to look awesome with pectus, you want a lean muscular physique. But instead, I just focused on, let's get strong, let's gain weight, let's aim for a 500 calorie surplus, which equals about half a kilo of weight gain per week, and I managed to do so. In that period, I went from 82 kilos to 94 kilos at my heaviest, okay? And I went from deadlifting 180 kilos to deadlifting 240 kilos, back squatting 130 kilos to back squatting 180 kilos, and bench pressing 95 kilos, these are 1RMs, to 120 kilos. So massive, massive, massive changes in strength and physique. And how I did that: calorie surplus consistently, a good program, a set program that I laid out for myself at the start. I adhered to it completely. I didn't miss a day. I adhered to my sleep. I adhered to my macros. I adapted my macros. So as my weight gain began to plateau to less than that half a kilo per week, then I would increase the calories, because the body's adaptive. So as you gain weight, as you progress, the body progresses. That's why my programs progress. That's why my calories for my clients and for myself had to change, because the body's adaptive. It changes as you change. So you need to keep changing the program and the nutrition to make it a stimulus for you to keep changing. So I did that. I got to that physique that you can see here. I looked massive and jacked, but my pectus still looked bad. My physique didn't look awesome. I'm not a fan of people being a mass monster. That's not what I aim for my clients to receive. I aim for my clients to achieve a lean, muscular, aesthetic physique. And so that's where I had to get to now. I had the foundation of muscle to cut from. So now when I cut, I knew I could show all that muscle I developed and just look amazing and aesthetic, get a good V taper, have that definition of my pecs to my ribs and around my indent to make my pectus less noticeable, and just look awesome. And I knew I could do it. And so with cutting, it's the opposite approach. It was a 500 calorie deficit, aiming for half a kilo a week of weight loss, keeping my protein intake high, making sure, you know, I'm not just going full catabolic and losing all my gains, doing everything right, making sure I sleep, never drinking alcohol, never going to parties, you know, really dialing myself in for a 16-week cutting period, okay, where all I did was dedicate on, let's try and stay as strong as we can, try and keep these strength gains, keep my protein up, and just try and slowly lose weight. So I'm just ticking away at this body fat percentage, just chipping it away. And yeah, I was able to do that. And I ended up at about 80 kilos, so the same weight I started at. So I went all the way up to 95, all the way back down to like 80 where I started, a little bit lighter than I started actually, but like way lower body fat, like from 14% to 6%. So it was pretty awesome. And it was my best physique ever. You know, I looked awesome. And so that's how I did it. That was the breakdown of how I did it, guys. Consistency, proper program, proper nutrition, everything dialed in. Now, it can be overwhelming to try and figure out how you do that yourself, okay? From my YouTube videos, from the internet, there's so much stuff out there. And to be honest, doing random workouts normally gets random results. Not following a program isn't the best way to do it. If you follow a program that's proven to work, I've coached hundreds of people, you're guaranteed amazing results. So guys, if you want to get your physique to that level, if you want to fix your pectus, you know, you don't even need to get to where I got to, where I won my bodybuilding show. I'm not there right now. It's not sustainable, but you can get to where I am now, which is just a aesthetic physique and, you know, just a sustainable physique at around 10% body fat, lean and muscular. That's where you guys should really be aiming to. It's very easy to get to that point when you're following my programming and my coaching. So the link is in the description. I've got the 2022 challenge that I'm promoting for this year. Client spots are filling up quick. I'm overwhelmed at the response. So it's limited spots, so be quick. Link in the description, apply, book a strategy call with me, and then I'll help coach you on this journey and help you fix your pectus. Thank you for watching.